In previous presentations, I've presented an argument for culture as a technology for peace, but it has often been used, culture that is, to estrange others from ourselves, to marginalize, and to create a distance between us and our human others so as to estrange us and show that we are better than those people behind the tree over there. So culture has not always been used for peace. While it may be a source of peace between me and my immediate local neighbors, it serves to push others far away. This presentation will look at some of the aspects of the evolution of a definition of culture and an extension of otherness or alterity as not a form of marginalization, but a form of recognizing ourselves in those far away others, especially those that we cannot understand what the heck they are doing. Imagine a person that you come across in the forest. The person looks like you, but doesn't have the jeans and t-shirt that I normally wear, just a loincloth. And the person is frantically searching for something in the dirt. The person is covered in dirt and obviously distraught. Would you help or would you walk away? One's ability to demonstrate cultural empathy depends on one's culture, and your first culture means of demonstrating through your behaviors those culturally empathetic actions to show that. This person you come across sees you and comes to you frantically, speaking a language you don't understand. What would you do? Now, let's say that this is not a human, but a humanoid creature from outer space. Now, let's imagine that this is a non-humanoid creature like an ant or a giant ant. What would you do then? You do have a knife in your belt. Where does culture end? Does it end with humans? Let's revisit our definitions of culture. I've borrowed heavily from Lustig and Kester's definition of culture, but as I continued to use it, I revised it based on my more advanced, let's suppose, understanding of culture. Rather than list the shared expressions and interpretations, I reduced that listing to social value patterns to shorten it, and so as to create a broader summary that included art and literature, but also all other behaviors. I share this here to show how your definition of culture may evolve as you begin to look for culture and use it in practice, which is to say, as you begin to operationalize your definition of culture. In a previous presentation, I gave a short summary of my definition of intercultural competence, which has also evolved, but which is summarized here and in my book. You should create your own definition of intercultural competence as well, so that you have something that you are comfortable with operationalizing over the course of your life, as it will probably take you that long to feel comfortable in many intercultural situations. Take some time to think about a definition, but consider it as something that will help you promote and maintain or to wage peace with culturally different others as well. And then, with the situation I started out, does it end there? I argue that intercultural competence is the beginning of understanding of the other, and even the beginning of accepting very, very strange others, which is the stuff of science fiction. Gene Roddenberry did this in Star Trek, the original series, and throughout our modern day versions, such as Picard or Star Trek Voyager and so forth. Roddenberry gives us a distant harbinger of cultural understanding for achieving peace. So does Orson Scott Card in his Ender series, if you've seen the film. In Card's book, Speaker for the Dead, the sister of Ender Wiggins, Valentine, creates a hierarchy of foreignness that helps us answer the original question. After all, Ender has committed xenocide. He has completely annihilated through his actions, but unwittingly, a sentient alien species. He spends the rest of his life trying to make up for that. The hierarchy of foreignness is interesting in our ability to understand the other as sentient other. Do we extend to that other dignity? I started our presentations of intercultural competence with human dignity. But can you imagine non-humanoid sentient beings like the ant we presented earlier having dignity? Where does culture end and where does culture as peacemaking begin? These are rhetorical questions worth pondering. I think that we can at least agree that the other humans on our planet deserve our attention, understanding, and the affordance of dignity. The beginning of that affordance, I would argue, is pursuing intercultural competence to maintain peace. Unlike what we often see in science fiction, which is replete with the Borg, not caring whether you want to be assimilated or not, or the virality that we see in the film Arrival, or the Varelsi in Star Trek's The Devil in the Dark episode. Watch that one if you can find it. All of these questions can be encountered in science fiction. But it is the Utlining other that we are most concerned with in intercultural competence. They are humans who are outlanders, our distant neighbors, if you will. They are subjects of their own wills and have a culture, to us a second culture, that organizes their existence. That's why I capitalize other, to remind us that our dignity, my capital I dignity, extends to them as well. There are many examples of science fiction where we get to deal with othering and the ethics of treating others with respect for their dignity. Most of how we will apply what we learn in intercultural competence, however, will be lived here on Earth in the intercultural conflicts that naturally occur in our daily interactions with other humans. Suffice it to say that culture is real, even if abstract. And it's the dyadic relationship between how one culture predominantly prefers to solve problems or answer questions that is at the core of those intercultural conflicts. Another presentation will go into those dyadic relationships to lay the groundwork for our understanding of intercultural conflicts and how to act interculturally competently when navigating those conflicts. While I use these videos as presentations for the courses I teach on intercultural competence, they're also freely available for anybody to watch. So please feel free to like or to subscribe to this channel as you see fit, or to share it. Your feedback is valuable to me to make sure things are clear. And may you find the peace you're looking for.